Today, we'll be looking at how digital authoritarianism is on the rise and what it means for you. If you're new to this channel, welcome. This is Mr. Singularity, where we explore the scientific and technological breakthroughs shaping the future as we know it. The internet has long been declared a force for democracy that can overturn dictatorships around the world. But according to a recent study on digital rights, oppressive powers are holding back power and even reuse the internet in ways that threaten democracy. Back in 2010, the Arab Spring was seen as definitive evidence in the anarchic potential of the internet to extend freedom of expression and self-determination to one of the most repressive corners of the globe. Yet, less than 10 years since, most gains have been reversed. The 2016 U.S. election has proven that social networks at the core of that revolution can be exploited almost as effectively to disrupt democracy as to encourage it. This is the 8th year in a row that global digital freedom has deteriorated, according to Freedom House's annual Freedom on the Net survey. The survey affected 65 nations, which account for 87% of the world's internet users. Whilst the analysis found progress in 19 countries, it also found that 26 countries had taken a step backward. The U.S. was perceived to be one of the declining countries since the repeal of the net neutrality laws, which guarantee that all internet traffic is handled fairly, and the reauthorization of the FISA Amendment Act, which requires the government to carry out extensive digital surveillance. However, the most troubling developments found in the study are the broadening of attempts to track and influence online public opinion, and the growing use of the specter of fake news as a pretext to stifle dissension. Research has also reported that at least 17 countries have adopted or introduced legislation to tackle fake news and misuse on social media. While these are also significant issues, the study states that the law to address these ills has been used by oppressive regimes to undermine legitimate dissent. The study also showed that in 32 countries, bots, trolls, or pro-government pundits have themselves been engaged in influencing public conversation on social media sites, such as Facebook and Twitter, as well as chat applications such as WhatsApp. Governments are now gradually disrupting these programs, both for political purposes and to avoid the spread of fake rumors and lies used to flare up divisions between communities. In 22 nations, at least one contact channel was closed, while 13 governments actively interrupted the internet or mobile networks. In specific, the study draws attention to China, which has the lowest internet freedom ranking. China is accused of spreading its own brand of digital authoritarianism that mixes extensive automated monitoring and data collection with tight censorship. Officials from 35 of the 65 countries engaged in training or seminars on information security strategies in their country last year, according to the survey, and China has also been found to have provided surveillance devices to a number of governments with weak human rights records. The study finds that China is using its vast Belt and Road Infrastructure program, which aims to connect Asia, Europe, and Africa, to facilitate its effort to dominate cyberspace. Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt recently indicated that this pattern is likely to lead to an internet break-in two, one half dominated by the US and the other half dominated by China. However, China was not the only nation to be accused of snooping on its people. Since June 2017, state monitoring has expanded in 18 countries and has also been paired with attempts to undermine encryption in order to make it easier for the government to access citizen records. One notable example was the EU, where the General Data Security Policy adopted comprehensive new data protection regulations, and they've become the blueprint for proposals in many other countries. The Freedom House study advises Western policymakers and internet providers to take a more constructive approach to combat web abuse and preserving the rights of its consumers. It ends with the alarming warning, securing internet freedom from the rise of digital authoritarianism is essential to the protection of democracy. But it is worth noting that the dying dream of the internet as a force for freedom does not fail merely because of the deliberate actions of demagogues. The propensity to become divided and build echo chambers is increasingly recognized as an inevitable characteristic of the way knowledge percolates throughout the network. And while the ability to circumvent gatekeepers, like the corporate media, can democratize information and free expression, it also removes critical quality control and fact-checking functions. This led to a post-truth period in which oppressive powers were quick to exploit to weaken confidence in democratic norms and institutions. Reversing the 8-year pattern of decreasing independence would take more than merely confronting these forces. We would need to resolve some of the core issues at the center of how the internet works. What will 2021 bring? We're already starting to see the writing on the wall of what's to come. Let me know down in the comments below and check out one of these other videos. This has been Mr. Singularity, and I'll see you on the next one.